Welcome to the Magical Traveling Moms podcast, where your hosts, Tina and Colleen, talk about all things travel. From theme parks to cruises to all-inclusive resorts and more, they cover news, tricks, and insider tips to inspire your travel dreams. They love to travel and want you to love it too. Find out their best-kept secrets and learn how to make your next vacation extra magical right here on the Magical Traveling Moms podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Magical Traveling Moms podcast. My name is Colleen and I am joined today by my wonderful co-host Tina. And today we are talking all about revenge travel. Perhaps you've heard of this term. It's been floating around the last year or so. And we're going to be discussing that phenomena and where it came from, what it means, what kind of travel people are choosing for their revenge travel. But before we get started, we always like to say a little something about the sponsors of our show, Mystical Dream Travel. Mystical Dream Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in family vacations, such as Disney destinations, cruises, all-inclusive resorts, Hawaii, Europe, all kinds of amazing premium destinations you can go visit with your family and your loved ones. And the best thing about using Mystical Dream Travel is that it is completely free for you to use their services. So it is a win-win. And when you are ready to book your revenge travel trip for this year, be sure to look up the fantastic agents at Mystical Dream Travel. You can find them at mysticaldreamtravel.com or look them up on social media. Hi, Tina. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Colleen. How are you?
I am battling a little bit of a cold, so if I sound funny, that is why. But
yes.
I think I sound worse than I feel at this point, so that's good.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing good. It's spring here. It's been warming up. We got some flowers blooming, and I don't know about you over there in Pennsylvania. How is it looking for spring there?
Well, yeah, so it's spring, a little bit springy here. It was like we're like in the 60s, like that's this time of year. However, later in the week we are taking a dip down for a couple of days into the 40s, and our weather here could like get back and forth. So
it's like that here too, where it teases us with like 70, and then this morning I woke up and it was 39, and I was like, no. I was like, come on, what happened?
I know, yeah. It was 40 here this morning, so we were 1 degree warmer than you.
Oh my gosh, wow.
But I think it's gonna be 65.
Sometimes it's not that much different. So I am so excited to talk about this topic. This is something that has, we've been discussing for a few months now.
Yes.
This and it's funny because every time I tell someone else about like revenge travel, they look at me funny, like, what does that mean exactly? Like, why are they calling it revenge travel? So I thought we would start out first by, explaining what the term means, like where it came from and why are people talking about this revenge travel?
Yeah, absolutely. I heard several different things, but I'll let you share that and I'll tell you what I've heard.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you have for like other names, but I mean, I feel like I've been hearing about revenge travel for like a year now. And basically it's because of the pandemic and everybody wasn't allowed to travel. It couldn't travel. There was nowhere to go for like a year. And so everybody has all of this pent up like energy and angst about, I just want to get out of the house. Like, I just want to go somewhere. I want to get out of my house. I want to get out of my town. I want to go somewhere warm and tropical. And so now that when things started opening up, because this has been going on for a few months, but when things started to open up and people could travel again, it was like people could not book a trip fast enough, right? And there's like this angst behind it. There's like this, there's this angry, like, yeah, I need to go somewhere, like feeling. So I'm guessing that's how the term revenge came about. Like, it's like, oh, I'm gonna, I don't know, get revenge on the pandemic by going on a trip. I don't know.
I agree. Hey, that works for me.
It
Hey,
sounds so
anything to
aggressive
travel.
though, right? Like it just sounds like so aggressive. Like I'm gonna go on a
Yeah, it
revenge
does.
trip.
It does. It
Like
does.
when you
But
break up with someone, that's what I kept thinking about. Like, like you break up with someone and then you go on a revenge trip, right?
yes.
We're breaking up
Yeah,
with the pandemic and we're going on a vacation.
that's what I was just gonna say. It's a breakup of being stuck in your house.
Yes, right. I'm breaking up with my house. I'm
Yes,
leaving.
yes, yes. Now I've heard it called the year of the goat.
Oh.
So it's just an
And
interesting
we're not
term.
talking about Tom Brady, I'm assuming.
No, no, no. The year of the goat, it's the greatest of all trips.
I like
That's
that.
what it's standing for. The
That
greatest of
sounds
all
a little
trips.
more positive.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Other than, the revenge travel, I don't know, the year
Yeah.
of the greatest of all trips sounds much better. And so in a survey that was done,
Oh,
it says 65% of respondents are planning to go big on their next trip. So
yeah.
that's the next thing I've read, that another theme that has been called is go big travel in
Oh,
2022. So I've read that
okay.
too. And I think it's because people, we were pretty much locked down for about a year and a half, two
Yeah.
years. And so they saved all their vacation money. And I
Mhm.
think they're crossing off their travel bucket list or taking those dream trips
Yes.
that they've always wanted to take because we were forced to stay home for 2 years and
Mhm.
save our money.
Yeah, right? I think that's helped. Yeah, the fact that we couldn't go anywhere or do a whole lot
Mhm.
for, like, a whole year that and people got, credits from canceled trips.
Yes,
So,
yes.
I have talked to several people, like, when Matt and I went on our Virgin cruise, there were several people we talked to who had upgraded to,
Mhm.
like, the concierge, like, club level, right? Because they could afford it because they got, like, this future cruise credit, and a lot of the cruise lines would give you, like,
Mhm.
150% or something. And so
Right,
since they
right.
got that little bump in the value, they were able to justify going up in the category. So they were, like, living their best life.
Yeah, exactly. Or what they're doing too is taking those credits and using them for amazing excursions and
Yes.
splurging on different things on the cruise lines that maybe they wouldn't have
Right.
before to
Yeah.
enhance their experience.
Yeah, no, I think that also psychologically, like there's a huge psychological element of this trend.
Mhm.
And I think when you tell someone they can't do something, it just makes you want to do it more, right?
I agree. It's like a little kid, like you tell your toddler,
Yeah.
"Don't touch that."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Now they wanna touch it." Yes.
Well, because I can see, like, you have always dreamed of going on an
Mhm.
Alaska cruise, and this is like a bucket list item, and you're like, someday, 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 and then all of a sudden, you couldn't go even if you wanted to. And I
Right,
really do think there's a psychological thing there where you're like, wait a minute, now I don't even have the choice of going if I wanted. And so then when the choice comes back, you're like, I need to seize the moment. Like, I need to
right,
do it because who knows if this will get taken away from me again, right?
right, exactly. Plus, I also think, it gives you a lot of time the whole pandemic give you a lot of time to think about life in general.
A
So,
lot of time to reflect.
yes, exactly. We're gonna get very, like, deep here. So,
A lot of
I think
time to research things on Google, maybe.
yeah, that too, but I think it gives you time to really reflect about your life and your family and
Mhm.
what you want to
Yeah,
do and what the experiences you want to have. And I think I've been seeing a lot of articles and news stuff about how people are really taking that time, not just in travel and in their
right,
life, but also in their career paths. They
right.
really have taken that time to step back and reflect on their lives and decide
Mhm.
really what they want for their life
Yeah,
moving
I
forward.
that makes a lot of sense to me because yeah,
Mhm.
we're like go, 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 especially in America.
Yes.
Like our culture is so just work all day long and work long hours and never take a day off and just, we're
Yeah.
so driven that we
Hmm.
don't take the time to stop, but the pandemic forced us to
It
take the
did.
time
Yes.
to stop. It really did. It forced us to slow down, and we didn't really have a whole lot to do except sit around and think about life.
Yes, exactly. And think about what we want and the
Yeah.
experiences we want to have
Right.
in life.
What's
And so,
important? Like, what am I doing? Like, because
mhm,
when you're in that like rat race, like they call it,
yes.
that you're not really thinking about what you're doing. You're just going. You just have to keep going. But we had to stop and like be like, what am I doing? That's why and along the same lines of that, you see a lot of people like switching careers or going after their dreams of starting a business or
Mhm.
like things that they had thought about but didn't think they had time or whatever. And then the pandemic kind of showed them like, hey, if this is something you want to do, like you need to do it.
Right, exactly. And I think that translates too into travel.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go to these amazing destinations that have been on my travel bucket list or my dream trips. And I think that's what people are doing. They're
Yeah.
like, I'm living my best life and I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm going to travel finally. Yeah. So I
Right.
think that's like a big yes
Yeah.
for
And
me.
when we travel, we're gonna go big. Like I like that term, the go big travel,
Go
because
big.
that's
Yes.
I definitely think that is going on for sure. People are like that, forget going, someplace where we can drive 3 hours. Like down here, it's like, oh, let's go to Myrtle Beach. Oh no, no, no.
Yes.
We're gonna go
Yes.
to Costa Rica. Like we want to go to Hawaii.
Yes, we've definitely have seen the trends. I mean, we've had people go to the Maldives.
Yeah.
We've had Hawaii has been huge.
Yes.
People like really just booking a lot of Hawaii.
Huge interest
Uh,
in Hawaii.
yes, yes. So that has been really big. And I think once the restrictions get a little bit less in
Mhm.
Europe, I
Yep.
think we're going to see that even get
Absolutely.
bigger
Yeah,
for
I definitely
travel.
have a lot of people asking me about Europe. So
Yes.
I think that it's definitely so that's kind of leads us to the next part. I thought we could talk about some of these revenge trips or goat trips that we
Or go
are
big. Yes.
seeing people booking. Like what are
Mhm.
people contacting us about? What are they talking about? What's the buzz? Like what's the trend for, and it's all like big, big, big trips.
Yes. So for me, I would say I think the biggest has been Hawaii.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people interested in the Hawaiian Islands and booking a
Mhm.
ton of it, whether it's from stays, on the land part or a cruise. So I will
Mhm.
say the agents over at Mystical Dream Travel have a cruise going
Yeah.
in 2023 on the Pride of America for Norwegian, and they have sold that group space out several times,
Yeah.
and they keep adding and adding, more space to it because it's such a an amazing trip, even though it's not until 2023.
Right.
Um, it's still been a really big destination that people, they're like, it's my opportunity to go to Hawaii.
Mhm.
I'm going to take it. I'm planning this far out and I'm going to be able to see multiple islands. So Hawaii, I think, has been a huge trend for we'll call it go big travel because
Yeah.
I like that word better.
I do.
Yeah, so I think that it has been really a big trend that I have personally been seeing, and I'm not sure about you, but I think that's been a big
Yeah,
one for you too.
definitely Hawaii for sure. And I do think part of the Hawaii thing is that people want to do something amazing, but
Yes.
maybe aren't wanting to leave the United States.
No, I agree.
Like
I
they're
agree.
wanting to stay domestic or not. I mean, like in the US, but not go international. But Hawaii feels like you went somewhere international. Like like
Yes,
it's
because
more
it's
exotic.
yes.
So I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, I'm just guessing, but I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people have been really interested. Because if you're going to do something amazing, but you're not quite ready to leave the country, or you don't want to have to bother getting passports or whatever, then Hawaii is the place to go. But I was very surprised at the interest that there was in the group Hawaiian cruise for 2023. Um,
Mhm.
I didn't expect it to blow up like it did, you know? And yeah, it definitely was a very clear sign. Like people
Yes,
are
it
ready to go.
yeah, people are ready to go and they want to go on amazing destination trips that are once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we right now this has 40 families
Yeah.
traveling
That's
on
huge.
that group
We're
cruise.
gonna have
So
like half the ship is gonna be us.
yes, I know it's going to be amazing. But I think Hawaii is definitely
Mhm.
on people's list, and they're taking advantage of it, and they want to go big. But I think another big one too. I agree with you that they want to stay. A lot of people want to stay within the U.S. right
Right.
now. Hawaii just lifted a lot of its restrictions.
They did. I'm very
So
excited about it because there were
yes,
definitely some hoops you had to jump through.
yes.
And now you don't have as many. So
Right, so it makes it nice and easy to
yeah.
travel to. I think another big trend too is family travel that I've seen. So
Mhm.
we'll stay in the domestic realms for a minute here,
Yeah.
but we saw a huge spike in Walt Disney World and Universal
Yeah.
travel. I think to just to stay domestically, people are looking for that, and
Yeah.
also I think train trips through like the
Yeah.
mountains in the west,
Right.
and that's also I think a real big one.
Yeah, Disney for sure, and Universal, and I
Mhm.
think that I mean, anybody who's been paying attention to, like, the numbers for Disney, like,
Yes.
this first quarter is not usually, like, a big quarter for them, and they have just they're crazy busy right now. Like,
Yes.
January and February are not usually busy months, so it's like all of the what we've always thought about Disney and like when people go has kind of like turned around and got all mixed up. But along those same lines, what I've noticed is multi-generational trips to Disney. So I
Yes. Group
feel like
travel.
there's been a huge spike in like grandparents who want to take their entire family to Disney. I have seen
Yes, I agree.
several of these trips, like where it's the grandparents and they want to take their adult children and their families, all of them together, one big, like a huge, like, and a lot of them have said to me, they really just want to do it before they can't anymore. Right,
Right.
that they like I think they just had that realization again, like, the pandemic makes you think about these things. If I'm gonna do this, this is when I gotta do it because if I wait much longer, it might not be possible. So, I've seen a lot of that.
I agree. I think that I had that on my list as well. And I think I listed as group travel. I think there are a lot of group trips
Yes.
happening, whether it's you're with your friends or with
Yep.
your family reunions versus no. I think people, I mean, the picnic style family reunions, I think will never go away. But I think people are thinking like outside of the box and they're looking for more experiences and creating memories
Right.
that, like you said, they want to do it, especially the grandparents that are older
Mhm.
before they can't anymore.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I
I
think
agree.
all these the families, maybe didn't get to see each other, for a
Mhm.
long time.
Yes.
And they missed, Christmases
Mhm.
and birthdays and maybe they normally would do some kind of big get together every year and then they didn't for like a year or two. And so now
Mhm.
that they can, they want to do something really special, because
No, I
oh,
agree.
this is the first time we've gotten to do something together as a family in a couple of years. Like, let's really just go big, like go big travel.
No, I agree. I agree. And I think it's important I think as things open up more,
Mhm.
I think we're going to start seeing people looking for more adventure type travel too.
Yeah.
We're always starting to see an interest in those things, and I think people are really looking for unique
Yep.
and different and very immersive
Yeah.
um, style trips and vacations. Just something that they wouldn't get to experience um, just by going to the beach.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Well, yeah, and along those same lines, one of the other destinations I've noticed an increase of interest in is Costa Rica.
yes.
Like a lot of and people wanna go and do like really experience the country and the rainforest and go to the volcano and like do all the things, which I think is kind of interesting that they're like, no, maybe they've already been to Cancun or Punta Cana or whatever, and they want to go someplace warm and with the trop, maybe they want an all-inclusive resort, but they want to go someplace different, someplace unique that is outside of the box, kind of.
No, I agree. Costa Rica's been another big one too. I think similar to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because it gives it that kind of uniqueness, than your standard like all-inclusive Caribbean destination. And that's been another one that, we've seen a lot of clients interested in booking.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think people are just looking for those things. And one thing I've seen too is multiple trips a year. Families are booking multiple trips a year. They're, booking their maybe big trip, and then there's so many amazing deals out there.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to take advantage of a quick trip. So not only am I going to do my big vacation, now I'm going to do a smaller weekend getaway or, to the Caribbean or something, along those lines, maybe like 5 nights instead of 7 nights. And, they're taking more trips, versus just taking one trip a year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it does seem like that. People are just interested in those deals that you're talking about. I mean, we've been saying it for over a year now. Like,
yes,
if you want to go on a vacation, there are some crazy deals. I feel like we have an expiration on these amazing deals. I think we do, because people are really
coming,
struggling a lot now, and these destinations and companies and stuff are maybe not needing to give as much as amazing deals eventually. So I'm telling people like, this is the time to book something.
And it
still
really
a
is.
deal.
And just in with the deals too, it's actually a time to travel if you're comfortable. I mean, we've said this for the last year, because things are picking up and they are going back to normal. I mean, we've traveled, both of us have traveled when there was like nobody traveling.
Right.
And then now traveling when everybody's starting to travel. And there's definitely a difference.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a different experience for sure, depending on, where you're going. But like the cruise line is another great time to travel because they're not at full capacity, not because they don't want to be, but I think because people aren't quite, they're getting there, to get on back on the cruise ships. But what's nice is it's just a very different and unique experience because you don't have the full capacity of the ship. So you have a lot of room to move and just, it's just not, I don't know how to explain it right, but I think it's just really just a very different time to travel and you'll never have that back again. Just like when I went to Walt Disney World a couple of months after it opened, there's like nobody there. That'll never happen again.
I know. I'm so glad.
Probably in my lifetime anyway. But
I'm so glad I went too, because it was definitely an experience that I doubt will ever happen. And that even all-inclusive resorts, I feel like, are the same. They're not booking full capacity either. So you go to these resorts, there's a lot of, room to spread out and not a lot of people in the pool or on the beach or anything. But that is coming to an end, people. It's coming to an end.
It is coming to an end. Yes, I agree. And then like the other thing we talk about a lot too is the availability.
Yeah.
So a lot of, we get a lot of calls. I want to go in 2 weeks or I want to go in a month. And quite honestly, the availability just isn't there. And so you really should start thinking about planning early, and especially if you're wanting to go to these destinations that are just incredible, and you want to have the experience that you really want to get that's enjoyable. And so it's really important to think about that, and because that's a trend that we're seeing is that availability is starting to
absolutely. Like
even for summer we're seeing that.
I mean, it's not like where you used to be able to maybe get like some kind of crazy last minute deal. there's not really a whole lot of that because everything is booked up. So yeah, I
No,
keep
I agree.
encouraging people, like, if
Yeah.
you want to go on a trip this year, you need to get something on the books because it is already like through summer. And I mean, even Disney, some dates in the fall are already like, you might not get the resort you want, or the room you want, if you
Mhm.
wait much longer.
Yep. I agree. And I do think too, other people are also kind of back to this trend. I think they're spending more money on luxuries,
Mm,
because like you said earlier, you saved all this money, or maybe
right.
you got some credit, so you're upgrading,
Yeah.
to maybe, you've stayed in like a standard room at an all inclusive, but now you're going to upgrade to like an ocean view club level or concierge level.
So be careful, guys. Once you go Butler, that's it. You can't go back. You can't go backwards.
Now you've done that, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I'm like, once you do VIP, like, it's very hard to not do VIP.
Yes, yes, I can relate. I can relate. I can relate. So yeah, so those, I think people are really taking the time to examine what they really want out of their
Right.
vacations, and they're splurging on the things that are important to them
Yep.
and the experiences that they want to have. And I think that's the biggest trend, is just having experiences that they've never had before, and then
Mhm.
giving that to their family and to their kids, to have those experiences, because you don't know. Life is short. I think that's something we all learned coming out of the pandemic, that life
Yeah,
is short and we need to live it and enjoy it. I say you can't take your money with you.
you
You
can't.
know, you
Well,
can't
and
take your money with
you wanna celebrate. I think a lot of people have
you.
that
Yes.
mindset too of it's time to move forward in like a positive way, and we wanna celebrate we got through this, and it's the worst is behind us, we all hope, and it's time to look forward, and part of that is like doing something amazing, and to celebrate that experience, that we're like, hey, we're ready to move on, we're gonna do this awesome thing to commemorate that it's over and we're going forward.
No, I agree. I agree. And I think more people are looking to do celebration type travel.
Yes.
I know you and I have all done that all anyway, instead
Right.
of like the big birthday parties and the big Christmas gifts. And we've kind of shifted towards
Yeah.
like celebration
Go on the
travel.
trip instead. Yeah. Make some
Yeah. So,
memories.
and I think people are shifting more towards that direction, of, we want to celebrate
Yeah.
our accomplishments and make
Yeah.
those memories. And yeah,
And I
absolutely.
hope that there's been more of a shift in the mindset of that vacations are important.
Yes.
That doing, I mean, and not that you have to do something super crazy and bucket list and over the top every time, but like you were saying, more people doing more than one trip in a year. Maybe it is just going for a long weekend to the beach or to the mountains or a train trip or, not a long vacation. But I think people are kind of coming to that realization that spending that time with your family is
Mhm.
important and should
Yes.
be a priority, and that, having those memories and taking that time to reset and relax and reconnect is worth it, and you really need to make that a priority.
No, I agree. I agree. I think that it really gave us a lot of time to reflect and step back from our crazy life. Like you said, we
Yeah.
work so much. Like that's how we are in America. We just
Yeah.
work and just so driven that we are constantly plugged in. And so
Uh-huh.
I think the pandemic for all of us has taught us to unplug, and that it
Yeah.
will be okay.
Right, exactly.
When we unplug, it will be okay.
Well, and I think that, when before the pandemic, everybody's so busy and the kids have sports and theater and play dates and sleepovers and the parents work full time and you're literally just going from like one event to another, right? You're never stopping, you're never
Mhm.
like talking to each other, you're never spending quality time with each other really. because everybody just has all these activities and you're just go, 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 go. And the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic happens all of a sudden, you're all just stuck at home with nothing to do. And it's like, almost want to say, and I felt like this myself, like it was like you rediscovered your family, like
Yes.
just having to stop and be like, oh, hey, like, I guess we're just hanging out, like, and not having anything to do. And we don't have activities and nowhere to go and no schedule. And, and it's like you like discover each other and meet each other again. And, oh, hey, like maybe this is kind of fun that we had these family game nights and had to
Mm,
watch movies together and spend this bonding time. And people want to keep that,
yes, I
going
agree.
forward. Like, okay, we're all back to having sports and full-time jobs and schedules, but maybe recognizing the value in that time to connect and saying, hey, we really need to make sure we're doing this more often.
No, I agree. I agree. And I think travel allows you to do that.
It does.
It really allows you to reconnect and unwind and make memories and just
Yeah.
be together as a family.
Well, when you go
So,
somewhere, you're forced to do, like, because if you're at home, it's easy to be like, oh, dad's watching TV in the living room and the kids are in their rooms on their computers. And, and it's like, you don't maybe
mm,
necessarily actually all hang out together. You go on a vacation, you're kind of forced to hang out together.
yes, exactly, exactly. And you wonder, like, I often wonder this, how much of the stuff from you learn family time from the pandemic will you bring or keep
Mm.
that you did before? I mean, we're kind of going off topic here, but I wonder how much because sometimes I think I sort of miss the downtime of it.
Mm.
Not necessarily it in general,
Right.
kind of like the downtime. And I think people reflecting on that and they're like, where can we put that into our lives with this
Yes.
big busy schedule? And I think that comes in with vacation and
Like,
travel.
make that a priority. Like, oh, maybe we don't have to be running a rat race 24/7, 365. Maybe that's not a good thing.
Yeah, and we can fit that vacation in. We're going to make it fit in regardless of your activities
Yeah.
and, things like that. Yeah,
Priorities
absolutely.
have shifted.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
But yeah, I am very excited about where the travel industry seems to be going, and
Mm,
people's renewed like interest and excitement for travel, and like you were saying, like thinking outside the box and like not just doing the same old, like, oh, let's think of something different and unique and have experiences. And I just love that because of course that's a passion of mine, it's a passion of
yes.
yours. Like, we're
Yes.
already like passionate about it. And to see other people find a passion for it is really exciting.
Mm. No, I agree. I agree. I think um I I love experiencing new things and things that are different. I think we always talk about this, travel changes us, it changes you, it changes your kids. I really think that that's a big one. Exposes your children to so many different things, and
Yeah.
you don't just sit in this bubble of your hometown or
Right.
wherever. It really does. I think it helps them grow. It helps us grow as individuals.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. I think the experiences and are amazing, and I'm really excited for like you of what the direction the travel industry is going, and I'm excited to see it rebound and grow even bigger than what it
Right.
has been in the past. We both know that very well, that it has really been
Oh yeah.
busy in what people are looking for and asking for. Um and yeah, I'm excited and I can't wait to share next year. I mean, I know we're over a year away, but I can't wait to share the Hawaii
I know.
trip that we're doing with everybody next year.
I
So
am very excited because that'll be a big bucket list trip for our family because we're going to do a Lonnie
same.
before.
Yes,
And
we are.
I
Yes,
figure,
we
hey,
are.
we're already flying all the way to Hawaii. We might as well, do a few days at Alani and then do this cruise. And it'll definitely be like an epic trip for our family.
Yeah, same here. We're actually tacking on Disneyland as
Ooh,
well, a couple of days. So we're taking like this whole 2 week
you're going
thing.
all in.
Yeah, we're going all in
I
here. Go
love it.
big. Let's go big or go home,
Oh
you
my
know?
gosh. Right? Exactly.
Yeah, so we
So,
are doing Disneyland for I think a couple of days. I'm still mapping out the schedule.
mhm,
And then we're actually same as you, we'll be at Alani probably at the same time.
awesome.
And I actually have a friend who is renewing that same week, happens to be renewing their vows at Alani.
What?
Yes,
How
yes.
funny.
Yes, and then we'll get on the ship after that. So it's gonna be a very epic vacation.
It sounds like it.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
Well,
yeah,
I'm
so
so
I'm very
excited.
excited about that. So
So I'm very excited about all these go big travel vacations, and we would love to hear from our listeners.
mhm.
What go big travel do you want to do? Like, what is on your bucket list? What go big trips are you planning for your family? Or have you already done maybe in the last few months since this whole trend sort of started? And definitely leave us a comment, whether you're watching this on YouTube or on our Facebook page. Leave us some comments. Let us know what kind of go big travel you are interested in. And make sure that you like and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Like I just said, we're on YouTube now. So make sure you subscribe to us over there. It's a fun place. So you can like actually see our faces and not
Yeah.
just hear our voices.
Mhm.
And until next time, we hope all of your travels are magical.